seeking mentorship is really important because that is somebody that you can lean on when you don't have all the answers or when you need someone to feed off of and you need someone who's going to put that energy back into you again and feed that positivity and just be able to problem solve. Welcome back, everyone, to the Successful Stylist Academy podcast. I'm your host, Ambrosia Carey, and I have a very special guest today, you guys. And this is somebody who I grew up with, like almost using some of his books as my Bible. He has so much to give in this industry. He has so much knowledge to pass on. So I cannot wait to welcome Michael Cole to you guys. Michael, would you tell a little bit about your journey, like your background and how you evolved in the beauty business?
Well, there's a lot to talk about. I'll give you the fly over the treetops. I'm a hairdresser first and foremost. So, graduated from beauty school in '75. Met my wife in beauty school, so she's also a hairdresser, and spent the first 8 9 years behind the chair. She worked at a company, a franchise company. I worked for the Aveda founder, Horst. And this was way, way back pre Aveda. 2 children in, and she wanted to spend more time with the kids. And that meant that I was going to need to figure out how to become more of a major provider. And so I talked to her boss, who became my first business coach, and the rest is history. I went to work for a franchise chain, learned the business, and then started teaching it. And by then, we're at the mid 80s, and I am also a multiple franchise salon owner. And there were more and more salons outside of the franchise system that heard of me and the work I was doing. And I started consulting salons to go in and educate their people on building clientele and promoting retail and add-ons and referrals and rebooks and all that stuff. That really got big, and the franchisor kindly said, Michael, we're going to let you either do that or not do that and be a franchisee, but we really can't let you do both because it looks like you're out educating our competition, our intellectual property. So I left and started, just did this. This is now about 88, and it just got big, 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 big. I signed on with L'Oreal in '95. At the time, it was Redken, and became, boy, that was a pivotal moment for me because they said, look, if you sign on with us, we'll handle all of your marketing. You now can just do what you do best. Yeah, I'm an innovator. I create content. I teach. We'll you tell us how busy you want to be booked, and we'll book you, and we'll give you a lot of money. And I said, I'll take it. And and here I am today. I'm kind of on the back end of that ride. But in retrospect, that was probably one of the better moves. In 2001, we launched Summit Salon Business Center, which was just a hunch that I was in the seminar business. My partner back then, Randy Kunkel, was coaching. People would come to my seminars, learn all the stuff, buy all the stuff, but they needed help implementing it. Randy was an implementor, and we had this idea. I wonder if we come together and we did both, and boom goes the dynamite.
Oh, that's wonderful. It's super inspiring to hear your story. And I think it's remarkable that you've had such a heart and a passion for the business side of our industry, because this is something that, well, today, I mean, I know back then it wasn't as popular or there weren't as many people who were interested, but by today's standards, people are realizing that this is a really huge career that can continue to feed you and continue to inspire you. And as I speak about inspiration, I would love to know, what do you think keeps you motivated as a mentor in our industry?
Whew. Well, on a very personal note, I am always, always, always subjecting myself to being mentored. I have a therapist, my emotional life, financial coaches that continue to foster prosperity and wealth. It's I need to see your net worth statement. I'll show you mine, but I want to make darn sure that you're way ahead of me, because otherwise, frankly, I love you, but there really isn't, I'm about to give you some money and I want to make sure you don't take me down a rabbit hole. The other is I subject myself to spiritual mentors and teachers. I subject myself to a physical coach. So I'm an obsessive compulsive learner. I'm afraid to stop learning. And then the biggie is I love hanging out with zennials. It started around 8 or 9, and now there can be as aged as 25 years old. So on any given day, you'll find me in a Zoom or in front of somebody that's 19, 20, 21 being coached by them. Now they're not coaching, they're not my life coach, but they're showing me another click path on TikTok. They're showing me, a new feature on Reels and we geek out. And so I have no problem whatsoever kind of subjecting myself to young people. And frankly, they young me down.
I was thinking of you as this piece of clay that's soft and moldable, and you don't allow yourself to harden. You don't allow yourself to get stuck in this one, like a stone like creature. We can all learn something from one another. And that's the biggest thing that I took away from that. What have you found is the biggest reason most stylists end their career before making it as a top stylist? Because we do know that there is that percentage. I mean, even remember learning the 80-20 rule that stuck with me. I use that as an example all the time. So, what is it that you have found in stylists who just have not been able to make it to seeing what that's like?
Oh, that's a very profound question. I'm going to give you an answer. There's probably more than one, and it's not the answer. It's just one of my answers. Show me somebody that dropped out early, or on the other end, show me someone that's crushing it. I can correlate. One has a great coach, the other one has no coach. And if they say they have been coached, I'm going to say, introduce me to them because they're not guiding you. So I would say to anybody, if you're really serious and taking advantage, I've never seen the potential in the business as it is now that we're in the digital age. And the good news is, I'm seeing hairdressers, stylists, to get to wherever you're going, whatever the goal is. There's the difference between where I'm at and my goal, my end game. So that's the distance. But I've never seen hairdressers as fast getting to that place. The velocity now is, it used to take somebody who was interested 5, 6, 10 years to get to being a six-figure hairdresser. I'm seeing that done today inside of 12 months, 18 months. And yes, they're leveraging all of the digital resources. And yes, they're Bali Lama hair Jedi's, but yes, they're being coached. If you're out there by yourself and you're unwilling to do that and invest, I'm going to suggest that you're probably not ready yet to be in the big time, whether you're calling that top 20, top 5%, top 1%. So find a coach, get a coach, vet your coach out so that you're not going to have somebody take you down a rabbit hole.
You said two things that I think are really important. Seeking mentorship is really important because that is somebody that you can lean on when you don't have all the answers or when you need someone to feed off of and you need someone who's going to put that energy back into you again and feed that positivity and just be able to problem solve. But the other part of it, what you said, is vetting that because we live in a world where there's a lot of self-proclaimed coaches out there and we want to make sure that they are where you want to be, that they have done the things that you've done. Like Michael even said it earlier, you said, let me see your net statement. I want to see where you are in this world. If I'm going to get into, the same room as you, let's make sure we're on the same place, at the same playing field. So that's huge. So if I were to take like 5 top tips for the stylists who are listening, I can hear mentorship is a really big one. What other steps do you think that a stylist should take?
First of all, what's the end game? What's the how much of what by when game? The ultimate end game is, I want to be a millionaire by being halfway through, before I'm halfway through of my career. If I started at 20 something and I'm really going to stay in the game until I'm, ready to I'm on the back end of 50 something, front end. I mean, that's a pretty long ride. If you manage your money right, you should have somewhere, if you're not at $1 million, you'll be close enough to say you are. An IRA, a down and dirty, simple IRA, 401k, a SEP, something. But that's the goose that lays the golden eggs. As you grow your income, you're controlling your spending so that you never allow your spending to grow in proportion to your income. Most hairdressers have too much month at the end of the money. You want to be pretty much debt free well into your 30s back end. 9 out of 10 hairdressers, and I say this with love, don't have in their 60s. That's a pretty clear picture. Timing is everything. Some people, hairdressers, are not ready for the conversation you and I are engaging in this morning until 30 something. I need to kind of go out, have some fun in my 20s and kind of get that behind me. And then, okay, it's game time.
Beauty professionals, those of you who are listening right now, please just take this into account that you can still have your fun in your 20s and your 30s, but at least put a nest egg away, either a Roth IRA or simple plan, 401k, one of those types of avenues. Just set it and forget it, set it and forget it. It's interesting because I was talking with a couple friends of mine who are also in my age bracket and have been in the industry for a little while now. And we were talking about how you do reach a point in your career behind the chair where you start to see a decline in that peak. You hit a peak. And that peak happens when your hands get tired, your feet get tired, you can't run at the same pace, you're not as relevant. When you get to a place that you are a top stylist, then the next level might not be add another chair in, add another assistant in. It might be to start passing your knowledge on and seeing what legs that can give you in this industry. So I love that you talk about that you talk about that long-term game, because having your eye on the future will always give you a clear path and direction in what you're doing today. Commission versus booth rental. So I would love to hear your take on that, Michael.
I serve both communities. If you look at the national brands in the salon suite community, there are 5 of them. I won't drop names, but I'm a preferred business educator in 3 of those 5 brands, probably soon to be 4. I advocate both. So I can show you Jedis in both communities, and I can show you people that are failing miserably in both communities. So I don't think there's a correlation as to can you do good and better in one than the other. I'm saying you can do awesome in both. There are some trade-offs, and you go, well, do you work differently with somebody in the self-employed community? Not really. I now know that in the suite community, the turnover rate is about 30%, give or take, a little bit higher after COVID than it was before. But half of the people that are leaving because they very quietly incubated their salon, future salon.
I think that actually gives a lot of tools for those who are considering opening up a salon one day.
Always, 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 always have a coach.
And you are proof of that 100%. Don't forget, guys, dream big, set goals, and take action. See you later, guys.